I am just super excited to bring you this tutorial of a cardigan for a 10-year-old girl. But before you want to leave, because this is not what you are looking for, I have some good news for you. First of all, just I have tried to create here a bohemian look with the colors that I've picked. I think I have succeeded. So I'm still now busy with completing the full picture because now this bohemian look surely needs some boot toppers where I will use the same pattern, but then for the part that turns over the boots, I want to make these, I want to use this, and then I'll also crochet a headband. Not using this because I think then it will become just a bit too much. Now, the good news. You do not have to match the type of yarn that I've used or even the size of the crochet hooks that I have used because I do not work with stitch counts and I do not work with little test squares that one first have to crochet. I work with a t-shirt as the size chart, one can say, or the guide for the size. That means if you then want to crochet now a cardigan for a 12 or 13-year-old or even for yourself, you just take now a t-shirt and then you start now and you make granny squares until you had the width of the t-shirt and then you will crochet the pattern. When it comes to the pattern itself, it's a real easy pattern. It is a 2-row repeat. Now, when you look at the sleeve pattern, you will see it's more of a closed pattern with no gaps. That is what my granddaughter indicated that she wants. I've already crocheted a matching headband, but now let me show you how I've done this. For this variegated yarn, I've used a 5mm hook. The yarn is fully washable. It's a 80% acrylic and a 20% wool. So here you can see the two sides lie on top of each other. When you look at the pattern, you can even see that it is quite an often open pattern. It crochets very quickly. Started with the back, crocheted the granny squares, and I've joined as I go here. You can also surely now with this round do the continuous join. So it's up to you. Then when I saw it's still now not exactly the size that I want, I have just made a border of DCs. Each row of the pattern starts with a treble, United States double crochet, and ends with a treble. So I will start here. I can either make a standing treble or I can make a stacked DC. First just a chain stitch, and now I'm just going to make a stacked DC. I've seen for the back that the standing trebles have worked quite fine for me, so I did make them. Then I'll remove this loop. Now when I do the pattern, I've seen with the back that it works out if I skip one DC now here and then I skip two and I alternate that. So now I skip one DC here at the bottom and I make 3 trebles into this DC. Now I skip 2 DC and I make again 3 trebles into this stitch. I just need to make now a last treble into this space here in the corner. If you look closely, you can see that they are not evenly spaced, but it will not be a disturbance. You will actually not even notice it when you see then the whole of the front. Now I turn. Each row of the back I've started with a standing treble. So you can either make a stacked DC or you can make this standing treble. And now in the middle of these 3 trebles, you will crochet a V stitch. So a treble, a chain stitch, and a treble. Then you go to the next treble in the middle, and again treble, chain stitch, treble. And like that I will progress to the end of the row. I'm here at the end of row 2, and I just make a treble into the stack DC that I have started row 1 with. Now after we turn, now we repeat row 1 again. So standing treble first, keep your finger on that loop, go in, yarn over, still with the finger on that loop, yarn over through 2, and now I can let go, yarn over through the last 2. And now I'm going to make 3 trebles into that space. And now I will carry on to the end of the row. And this is the 2 rows that will just be repeated. When it comes to shaping now, it's also real easy. I've shaped just over these last 3 rows. When I now reach the end here, I surely couldn't carry on now and crochet there, so I had to turn. Before I turn, I've crocheted here trebles together. And then when you turn, you can again do a decrease, and then the last row can just be on top. So that is how you shape both sides. Then you surely now have to again join the yarn this side, because if you have crocheted in this direction, then you'll have to join the yarn here and again crochet trebles together and then carry on. And then when you come back here, you will again crochet trebles together, and then you do the last bit, and then it will shape like that. So there are 2 ways that you can now go about shaping this. You can either now cut out a front for you where you draw on paper how you want to shape it, or you can just put something on top of the back. So let me show you here. So I would start here at the bottom, and I'm just using a piece of ribbon. So here you can see, so this is what I have done. I've just put a piece of ribbon, and then I've shaped it according to how it is pinned to the side. And once you have done now the one side, then the other side, the other front part is really quite easy. So let me tell you what I did then. For instance, I would have crochet up to where I started to shape. So I look carefully, I can still see there are 3 trebles, and here is the last treble. Here I've started to shape. So I would put a pin in here. And then I match the 2 fronts here at the bottom. Then I know that this is the row at the other front where I need to start to shape. And now I will just crochet 2 together, then complete the row, come to the next row, then I check what did I do in this one. So I move this pin up as I crochet the other side of the front, and that works quite well. Also, I need to mention it's not a lot of shaping that you have to do. If I look at these groups of 3 trebles, I have 9. And here at the top where I've sewn them together, here I have 7. So when I look here, the first decrease was happening here. Here I can see I've crocheted into a stitch, and here was another stitch. So what I need to do here is crochet this standing treble with 2 trebles in here together, and then the other one here will be on its own. So let us do that. If you find it now difficult to make the standing treble here, then you can make the DC, because I need to now keep one loop apart from this that I have on my hook. Yarn over and then go in, yarn over again, yarn over and just pull through the first 2. Now this can be tricky, that's why I say maybe you want the stack DC. And now I'm just going to go into this V stitch, and I make 2 trebles, and I then will crochet the 3 trebles together. So you can now see I have a loop of each of the three trebles and the loop that was here on the hook. And then I yarn over and pull through all three simultaneously. And now I've created the same as what I've done this side. And then I just make another treble in here. So any method of decreasing where you crochet them together will do. And I think with this variegated yarn also, it actually, you can't see what you have done as long as there's a decrease, that it turns now to the inside. So I'll now do the rest of this row, come back here, and then I'll do another decrease that you can see. Here is now the wrong side. This is the right side, as you can see. So let me now turn it because I need to finish now this row. But how will I need to finish it? That is what I need to check now. So when I look now at this row, because I'm now at this row where it was V stitches. And when I look carefully here, then you can see I did crochet 2 trebles still here. So I need to do the same this side. So let me turn. So I still need to crochet 2 trebles, one into this double loop and one into the one where I've done the decrease. Now we check again. There you can see that it starts now to shape. Now we at this row. When I look at this row, I can see there that I've now crocheted 2 trebles together, and into the next V stitch I've crocheted 3 trebles. So now I need to do the same. That means I need to crochet these two together, and into this V stitch I need to crochet 3 trebles. So I again do this long loop, yarn over with the loop, go into the first treble, into the double loop, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Now I can release my grip there, and you can see that there's a loop of the first treble on the hook still. Now I do the same for the next treble. Now there's a loop of both trebles on the hook plus this one. Now I yarn over and crochet for all of them. So now I've decreased it to 1 treble. Now into the next one I make 3 trebles. This one it becomes sometimes a bit loopy. Let me just now do it that it's just a bit less loopy. So that means this loop I just make slightly shorter. That's already far better. And now 3 trebles into the next V-stitch. And then we can just check. So there you can see. So now I'll just follow this same. I'll every time check how many V stitches do I still have, how many of these groups of trebles I still have. I'm here at the left front. I've joined the purple yarn and I've made a standing treble, or you can make a stack DC. Then you skip 2 stitches, then you make 3 trebles into a stitch. Skip again 2, 3 trebles into a stitch, and like that I did go all the way until I'm at the right front. Now I'm at this end, and here I've crooked a little bit. I was supposed to just end with a treble, but here what I've done is I've made 2 trebles crocheted together into this one chain space here. So there we go, like that, and then going again, and it just gives more of a sturdy anchor here for the ribbing now. For the ribbing I want ADCs, so I'm going to crochet 9. So 9 chain stitches made, and now I need to crochet a DC into the second chain from the hook and then into 7 more. Three, 4, 5, 6. Let us just see the loop of the 7th, and because I've counted that first one also, I need to count to 8. There I've made now 8 DCs in total. Now I'm going to slip stitch in here into this treble, or these 2 trebles that I've crocheted together. Now it will not make an open loop, and then just somewhere here, it's still not a stitch, I slip stitch into that also. Now I turn. When I turn, I just bring the yarn also around. It feels so weird at the beginning, and then once we get the hang of it, then it goes quite quick. Sorry, I've lost the loop. Good. Now I need to skip the 2 slip stitches. I mustn't crochet into them. So there's the one, there's the other one. So I skip them. The first DC, and now I need to crochet in the back loops only, will be in the 3rd stitch that I see there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's the 8th one. Let me just start. Now I turn just like that, so you can leave the yarn where it is, and I chain 1, and now I'm ready to start again backwards. DC into the first one, and then into the remainder 7 as well. Seven. So in total it was 8. Now I check, I've already slip stitch in here, so now I'm going to slip stitch into this stitch and into the next stitch. And then I turn again. You can see now the turning works more easily. The yarn stays where it is. I skip the first 2 that were 2 slip stitches, and now I just make DCs again. 8 of them. Now I think I'm ready to make the first buttonhole. So here I have purple buttons, because I do not want it to be too long. So now I'm going to have to make a buttonhole. If there are now 8 DCs, I think I can at least crochet 3 and 3, 6, and just, I think this button is small enough that it will go through 2, a loop of just 2. Let us see. So first the turning chain, then 1, 2, 3, then 2 chain stitches, skip 2 DCs, and make again 3 DCs in the back loops only. And then pick your next 2 stitches to slip stitch in, and then we will first see if the buttonhole is big enough. Yarn stretches, and I don't want to make it too small. It goes through easily. We will just test it once again once I've done DCs over it. So we just turn. The yarn is still that side, so the yarn don't have to turn with the work. Let me just get the loop here. Skip the first 2, the slip stitches, and now I need to crochet into the back loops and then into those 2 chain stitches as well. There I'm going to crochet now into the first one, then into the second one, and then into the last 3 DCs. Turn and make a turning chain. So the buttonholes must be here at the right hand side, and let us see. It goes through real easy still, and this is how it's going to look like. Now I just need to first put the cardigan down and see how I need to space out these buttons, that I sort of have an idea how many centimeters before I need to make the next buttonhole. I've put them now equal distances apart, so it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buttons. Somewhere here I probably will start decreasing it. Let us look at the ribbing and let us see where I've increased and decreased. So first of all, somewhere here, doesn't have to be exact, you decrease from 8 to 7, and then I've decreased again from 7 to 6, and here in line with the shoulder seams, I've decreased from 6 to 5, and I've just crocheted 5 DCs for the ribbing along the back of the neckline. Here where the other shoulder seam is, here I've increased again to 6. And here I've increased again to 7. One can see it makes a slight dip. Now, how do you do increases and decreases? Let me show you both. When I want to increase or to decrease, it surely happens here at this side. So for an increase, you would just then go into the first stitch. Now, normally I make a turning chain, as you know, so the turning chain is made. Then I go into this first DC and I crochet 1 DC into that first DC, and I crochet another DC into that same one. Then I've increased, so it's 1, 2, and then you can see 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then the last one would be 8. If I then had to increase, that I will do now later, somewhere here. If I want to decrease, let me just remove all of this again. So I'm back just with the last DC. So I'll make my turning chain first, here at the edge. Then I would go into the first DC, so not into the turning chain, into the first DC, collect a loop, then go into the second DC, collect a loop, and now I yarn over and I'll pull through all 3 loops. That's a decrease. I will now carry on, and at this stage here I will increase again to 8 DCs, and then I will just take 8 up to the bottom. I finished the ribbings and I've decided to just also sew on the buttons, and now I'm here at the bottom. I'm at the second last row here of the ribbing, and now I'm just going to make the very last row. So turn, chain 1, make the last row, and then I'll show you what I do there. And now I'm just going to slip stitch into this space here to the right of that 3 trebles. And then I'm going to make chain stitches across them. We're going to look 3 seams a bit too short. If I make 4 and I slip stitch into the next one, then I can see it will give a good edging. Good, and like this it looks. I will show you when it's done. Good, so I've now reached the end. I will now cut the yarn and just work it in at the back, and now I can finally close up the side seams and do the sleeves. Now let us talk about sleeves. As you can see, I crochet these 2 sleeves simultaneously because I'm not working from a pattern, and it's so easy to then crochet them together instead of finishing one, and now you have to count stitches if you didn't write it down, then it takes far longer. Good. So the first hint that I want to give is that when you sew up these side seams, make sure that the sleeve openings are the same length. You would think it's so obvious, but I have made mistakes in the past. So it's 18 centimeters I've chosen for this because I've looked on the t-shirt. I will give on screen the inches. Then, as you can see here, I have more of a closed pattern. My granddaughter indicated that she doesn't like all of the gaps, especially when it comes to the sleeves. So I'm making this a closed pattern, and I work in the round, not turning, just from this and going in the round like that. So I've started here crocheting in the trebles at the end of each row, and I have crocheted a round of linked trebles. If you are not so familiar with link trebles, in the description I will give a link to a video where I've showed how to make link trebles. And then my next round will be trebles, and then again link trebles and trebles, and it gives quite of a lovely closed pattern. Then the next thing that I have experienced from crocheters also, where do you do the decreases and increases? It does not actually matter, as long as when you do it this side, you also have to do it at the back. Because look what happens when I do this. This seam, the side seam pulls up. So you can either do the increase and decreases here and there, and you can alternate between doing it here and then at the back at the same place, or then another row you can do one here and one there, or just one here, or just one there. But the moment when you do one here, you also have to do one at the back. So once you have done now the linked trebles here over the trebles of the last rows here, now you need to count them. And you need to do the same number of linked trebles this side for the front and for the back as what was for this side. So in this case, I will show you what I do, that it's easier then to space them. The end of the sleeve must have this width. So I am just then decreasing until I have this width at the end, and this is totally fine for a 9-10-year-old. I've made sitting now at the one side. A good suggestion to help you is actually to put in pins. And now I know I need to have 10, 10, 10. Then it's real easy to space them. Because over a longer distance, it's harder to see how to space them. So now let us see if I can be first time lucky with this side. I just need to take them and put them in like this, that they're not, they're in my way. So I'm now going for the first one. Two, three, four, nine. Let us remove this. And then 10. It works far better. And now we carry on 10 up to the next one and then 10 up to the bottom. The decreases I've only made in the rounds of trebles. Each round I have ended off with a slip stitch in a treble, and I've started with a standing treble again. So it's in this round I have made 5 decreases because the sleeve opening was quite big, and I just wanted to start shaping it that it can turn a bit in. So I've spread the decreases out, so that means I've crocheted 2 trebles together here, and there's another place where I've crocheted them together, and then here in line with the shoulder seam, and then now on the corresponding places at the other side also I've done decreases. So let us just look where they are. This variegated yarn is not so easy always to see. Here is the one decrease, and let us see, must be somewhere here. There is the other decrease, a brown decrease. Let me just hold it like that you can see. Good. Now then I've just done 2 decreases in a row. Many rows were without, so when I saw that it started now going quite with an angle in, I thought, no, let me not decrease. So this part here I've actually done without any decreases. Sometimes you can see here's a little bit of a dip where I had a decrease, and maybe here also where I had a decrease. So for me it's better to make it in the body of the arm and not here, then this is neat. Good. So now the length, I had to measure now this length because I know I wanted to make the cuffs the same length. So that's 7 centimeters. So I've subtracted here because I thought from neckline to the end of the cuff, I want it to be 50 centimeters. I'll put inches on screen. So if I subtract then 7 centimeters, I had to make this from there up to here 43 centimeters. And then I've crocheted the cuffs separately. This is how far I am. I first crocheted this 4 and then I've done the continuous join. Starting from there, joining just like that with only these 3. So these ones were still not there. Let me just take this out. I did make a video on the continuous join that you can see. So now you can see how you do it. You just start there in the top corner and you do grannies all the way here, and then there, and when you come around you complete a corner. Chain stitch, slip stitch in and like that. And now I will join the 2 like that. So let us look at the one that I've finished with. Here I've done just a round of daisies, and then I've spread these clusters of 3 trebles out with two daisies between them. What I've done at the bottom of the cardigan, I just gave it a little scallop of 4 chain stitches, slip stitch. I'm now ready to sew on the cuff. It's finished, so it must be sewn on like that. So what I try to do here is fold it now in half and let this line be in line here with this. So when I flip it over, you will see now I'm just going to turn the cuff around that the 2 outsides face each other like that. So I've now used both loops and I've pulled them quite tight because I like it also when it goes a bit in. It will not be the same number of stitches. I think there are more stitches on the cardigan, the sleeve, than here on the cuff. I just stretch it, so sometimes I actually have to use one of these stitches twice